When you start the planning process for a project, one of the first things you need to think about is, what can go wrong? It sounds negative, but pragmatic project managers know this type of thinking is preventative. Issues will inevitably come up, and you need a mitigation strategy in place to know how to manage risks when project planning. But how do you work towards resolving the unknown? It sounds like a philosophical paradox, but don't worry, there are practical steps you can take. In this presentation, we'll discuss strategies that let you get a glimpse at potential risks, so you can identify and track risks on your project. What is risk management on projects? Project risk management is the process of identifying, analyzing, and responding to any risk that arises over the life cycle of a project to help the project remain on track and meet its goal. Risk management isn't reactive only. It should be part of the planning process to figure out the risk that might happen in the project and how to control that risk if it, in fact, occurs. A risk is anything that could potentially impact your project's timeline, performance, or budget. Risks are potentialities, and in a project management context, if they become realities, they then become classified as issues that must be addressed with a risk response plan. So risk management, then, is the process of identifying, categorizing, prioritizing, and planning for risks before they become issues. Risk management can mean different things on different types of projects. On large-scale projects, risk management strategies might include extensive detailed planning for each risk to ensure mitigation strategies are in place if project issues arise. For smaller projects, risk management might mean a simple, prioritized list of high, medium, and low priority risks. Managing project risk. To begin managing risk, it's crucial to start with a clear and precise definition of what your project has been tasked to deliver. In other words, write a very detailed project charter, with your project vision, objectives, scope, and deliverables. This way risks can be identified at every stage of the project. Then you'll want to engage your team early in identifying any and all risks. Don't be afraid to get more than just your team involved to identify and prioritize risks, too. Many project managers simply email their project team and ask to send them things they think might go wrong on the project. But to better plot project risk, you should get the entire project team, your client's representatives, and vendors into a room together and do a risk identification session. With every risk you define, you'll want to log it somewhere. Using a risk tracking template helps you prioritize the level of risk. Then, create a risk management plan to capture the negative and positive impacts of the project and what actions you will take to deal with them. You'll want to set up regular meetings to monitor risk while your project is ongoing. Transparency is critical. Make a risk tracker and manage risks with your team online. What is positive risk in project management? Not all risk is created equally. Risk can be either positive or negative, though most people assume risks are inherently the latter. Where negative risk implies something unwanted that has the potential to irreparably damage a project, positive risks are opportunities that can affect the project in beneficial ways. Negative risks are part of your risk management plan, just as positive risks should be, but the difference is in approach. You manage and account for known negative risks to neuter their impact, but positive risks can also be managed to take full advantage of them. There are many examples of positive risks in projects. You could complete the project early. You could acquire more customers than you accounted for. You could imagine how a delay in shipping might open up a potential window for better marketing opportunities, etc. It's important to note, though, that these definitions are not etched in stone. Positive risk can quickly turn to negative risk and vice versa, so you must be sure to plan for all eventualities with your team. Managing risk throughout the organization. Can your organization also improve by adopting risk management into its daily routine? Yes. Building a risk management protocol into your organization's culture by creating a consistent set of risk management tools and templates, with training, can reduce overhead over time. That way, each time you start a new project, it won't be like having to reinvent the wheel. Things such as your organization's records and history are an archive of knowledge that can help you learn from that experience when approaching risk in a new project. Also, by adopting the attitudes and values of your organization to become more aware of risk, your organization can develop a risk culture. With improved governance comes better planning, strategy, policy, and decisions.